Thanks for tuning in. In this video, we are going to be reviewing a new cargo offering from Vvolt, the Slice Lite. The Slice Lite is a Class 1 or 2 e-bike with a throttle that can take you up to 20 miles per hour, as well as pedal assist that can take you up to 20 miles per hour. You can remove that thumb throttle very easily to make sure that this bike complies with all the Class 1 e-bike laws. Integrated into the frame is a 375 watt-hour battery that is removable to charge on or off the bike. This battery powers a lightweight 350 watt nominal power rear hub motor that has peak power output of 550 watts in pedal assist 5. The geometry is front load optimized as well by centering the cargo lower near the front of the wheel so that the bike still handles well with the cargo up front. It uses an internal torque sensor, cadence sensor, and speed sensor to help with that pedal assist. There is a full color display that provides all the bike's information and can be controlled with the thumb controller on the left-hand side of the bars. The Slice Lite is a single-speed bike that uses a Gates carbon belt drive for that long-lasting, smooth, maintenance-free drivetrain. It uses 2-piston hydraulic Textro disc brakes with 180mm rotors front and rear. The wheels are mixed with a 20-inch wheel with 3-inch tire up front and a 24-inch wheel with a 3-inch tire in the back. The Slice Lite has integrated 360-degree lighting, with the rear light having 270 degrees of visibility. The headlight can also be moved to the front of the optional cargo module as well. The Vvolt cargo module that you see mounted on the front of the bike is an optional accessory that you can purchase for the bike. The top rail on there is adjustable to secure your belongings, and there are many attachment points for a ton of versatility. The Slice Lite comes in weighing 52 pounds and has an estimated range between 20 and 55 miles with a price tag of $2,049. First off, the Vvolt Slice Lite is an awesome looking little cargo bike. It's got some really cool lines going from the front to the back. You can see that top tube goes all the way from the head tube past the seat post back all the way into the rear triangle, which is really neat. The integrated lights really are seamless with the frame. Even with that front cargo module, you can extend that front light and put that into the front of the cargo module to seamlessly integrate with that cargo module. The mixed wheel size of this bike with the 20-inch wheel up front and the 24-inch wheel in the rear help keep this bike nice and compact for being a cargo bike. Even with that smaller wheel up front, this bike does handle well at speed. We were able to get this bike going up to 30 miles per hour on some downhills, and at that compact size, it has some nice maneuverability in some of those tight spaces. I personally prefer a bike with a larger wheel set, just the way I like to ride, but this mixed size wheel does a nice job of balancing that out with the small wheel up front and the larger one in the rear. The optional cargo module that you can get for this bike is actually pretty awesome and really convenient. It is pretty spacious and it can hold up to 40 pounds, which is a decent amount of stuff. The sliding rails on that cargo module are really neat, so when you do have a bag up there, you just tighten the rails around there and it secures that bag. That way you don't always have to bring any straps with you, or if you forget them, that works out for you. You can also slide things in under there and strap them in, just like a pizza box or something like that. We didn't get a chance to ride it with a pizza box, but it would totally fit into that cargo module. On that cargo module, there are a lot of cutouts in there as well. So if you do have an awkward shaped thing, there are many different spots that you can use a cargo net and you can strap that so you can make sure all your belongings are secure. It also gives a nice fun design on the front of that cargo module as well. It's nice that this bike also has the center stand that keeps this bike level when you are loading things into the cargo area. The double tube top tube on the Slice Lite is also really cool to look at from above and super convenient when you're looking to lock your bike up in front of a store. You can slide your lock right through the middle of there and make sure that is nice and secure. Some bikes have that really large top tube and make it a little more difficult to lock up your bike to a bike rack if it is crowded, or if there is no bike rack available to lock that around a pole or something like that. The quick adjustability of that front stem is also nice and easy to get those handlebars in a good, comfortable position when you are riding. The sweat pack handlebars and the geometry of the bike give for a nice, comfortable, upright seating riding position as well. I do really enjoy the simplicity of this single-speed Gates carbon belt drive. It really gives a smooth, quiet riding experience when you are out there on the road. Since the Slice Lite does have 5 levels of pedal assist, it's not like this is fully a geared bike, but when you do use those different levels of pedal assist, 1 through 5, it is kind of like you're getting an extra gear when you do have it in that higher pedal assist mode, because you can get your pedaling going a lot faster and have a higher cadence going. To me, the Slice Lite felt most efficient when you're on a generally flat terrain and you're in that 14 to 16 mile per hour range. When you get above that 16 mile per hour mark, your cadence is pretty high, so you are gonna have to work your legs to stay in that plus 16 mile per hour zone. But you do also have that throttle if you need to just wanna cruise at 20 miles per hour on a relatively flat to level surface. When you do get up to that 20 mile per hour mark, you are gonna be pedaling a lot and your cadence is gonna be pretty high, but you can definitely stay at that 20 mile per hour level when you are pedaling really fast. The bike handles well from slow to fast, and it also stops well with those hydraulic disc brakes with those 180mm rotors. The Slice Lite has good power when you are riding on flatter roads and when you get to some of those mellow hills. Having that thumb throttle there is nice for when you are on a little bit of an incline, just to help you get going to the right cadence. You hit that thumb throttle and you can get moving forward very easily. The power of the thumb throttle on this bike is set to 80% peak power of this motor. So when you do hit that throttle, you're getting up to 430 watts of power. The thumb throttle comes in handy when you want to just take a break from pedaling, and it can keep you going at a decent speed with ease. Only on some of the steepest hills did we find some of the limitations of the Slice Lite and the power of this motor. I currently live on the top of a pretty steep hill, and in those lower pedal assist levels, it takes a good amount of work to get this bike going at a comfortable speed uphill. You do get some relief when you are pedaling up the hills when you are in turbo or boost, but you still are going to put a decent amount of effort to get this thing to be going over 10 miles per hour up that hill. Since this is just a single speed bike, it is hard to get a gearing for every situation that you are going to ride this bike in. The gearing for this bike is definitely optimized for those flatter terrains to those moderate hills. When you do take it into that steep hills like I live on, grades that are above 10, almost 15% at some points, you do have to use this in the higher pedal assist modes to get you to the top of that. Overall, the Vvolt Slice Lite is an awesome utilitarian cargo e-bike that can handle that everyday riding situation, especially with that added front cargo module. The lower step over height and the adjustability from the bars to the seat post make this an awesome bike that you can have in the household to use for multiple people when you are trying to limit the use of your car and ride your bike instead. We here are fans of cargo bikes, especially for replacing that car when you're taking trips to the store. Whether that be a shorter trip or a bit of a longer one, the Vvolt Slice Lite can help you keep that car parked in your driveway more often. If you or someone is looking for a smaller utilitarian-focused e-bike, then the Slice Lite from Vvolt is definitely a bike to consider. Let's hop on the bike and we'll go for a ride to give you a little bit of an on-bike riding experience. Got a nice day here, so gonna take you on a ride on the Vvolt Slice Lite. It's a smaller bike, utilitarian cargo bike. Right now I have the cargo module that's optional on here on the front. And I have the bike off, kind of just cruising through the flats of the neighborhood, and pedals pretty well. Going 10 miles per hour right now. It's got a 20-inch wheel up front, so a little small. On the small side, I would say, and then the 24-inch on the back, which is more normal. And just starting to go uphill to get on this loop I like to do. And with the bike off, not impossible to go uphill, but would be nicer with some pedal assist. So just flip that thing into one or eco mode on here, and you get some good relief going on this little incline right there. Now, it being a single speed, you don't have all the gears to switch into, but you know, these having 5 levels of pedal assist, kind of like having 5 gears. So on this little incline here, no problem cruising up. Got to put some work when you're pedaling. Does have that throttle too, but we're just gonna pedal for now. But cruising up that little hill at 10 miles an hour, not too bad. Now we'll enjoy a little downhill through a detour. And I do have the cargo module that's optional on the front here. Right now I got my backpack in there, and it's nice to not have to ride with the backpack on your shoulders. And I don't even need straps because this cargo module has a rail that slides forward or backwards or into place, and it can secure the bag into that basket without straps, which is pretty cool. All right, got a little more downhill to go on. Spikes rolls really nice and feels comfortable even going fast. We're hit 24 miles an hour there, so it's not slow by any means for a smaller bike with a 20-inch wheel up front. But yeah, now we just got it. Another little roller in front of us and pedal assist 1, eco mode doing its thing. We'll jump into tour mode. So tour mode will give us just a bit more help than eco mode. This bike has a 350 watt rear motor, so not big, but still pretty strong for a smaller bike like this. Bike only weighs 52 pounds, so fairly light. But yeah, now in a flatter section, tour mode, just cruising 15 miles an hour, which is a good pace. And I found around 15 to 16, 14 to 16 has been ideal for me with the single speed. So we'll go up in the next one, pedal assist mode, which is sport. And sport gives you that little more of a boost when it gets to the hills. In sport, you definitely start to feel the motor kick in a bit. And on this flat section in sport, easily going 16 miles an hour. And when you get above 16 towards 17, your cadence goes up pretty high. There is a cadence think in the menu. Doesn't, oh, there it is. Yeah, right now, 65. So when you get higher miles per hour, you're gonna get a higher cadence, and you know, 60 something's a good cadence to have. There's a lot of info on this color display here. So now we're getting to a steeper part of the hill. I put that into turbo mode just to shoot us over the top here. And turbo mode, you do feel a lot more work from the motor, which you want for these steeper hills. And another cool thing in that display is has the wattage you're putting out. And the motor was putting 430 there, which is pretty solid for going towards its peak output. But yeah, I used a little throttle there to get me going. Just like you get off the line a bit. Let's flip this thing into boost. And boost, it gets you up to speed well. So this is where your cadence is gonna get high. I mean, hit 19 miles an hour there. I'm sure my cadence was much higher than 60 like before, and I'm just gonna let the bike do its thing, let gravity pull us to our next turn. But even with the smaller wheel size, it's pretty efficient. Just cruising down the road, if you have a nice little downhill, it'll roll well. And here we go. All right, hop up into the bike lane, and just got a little bit of a downhill here, but let's just go from 0 in turbo. You can see how quick it gets up to 20. So you feel that power kick in right away. This uses that torque sensor, and we got to 20 real quick. I know a little bit of the downhill helped us there, but this thing gets you going in boost mode. My bad, that was boost. So yeah, boost is the top pedal assist, which is pedal assist level 5 or boost. And it's going for us. Oh, we got a car that doesn't want to move for us, so don't know what they're gonna do always. Better to be safe than sorry. But yeah, now that we got this little rolling downhill part, we can drop it down into eco. And even in the above 15 miles an hour in eco, you feel a little bit of pedal assist. Nothing too crazy, but just enough to keep your momentum going. But yeah, in eco, it's very efficient, and getting up to 50 miles is the estimated range, and I could see you doing that for sure if you stay in eco on relatively flat terrain, because this gearing is definitely optimized towards the flatter terrain to some rolling hills for sure. But I live on a top of a big hill now, so whenever I've had to go up some of those big hills, I'm putting this in turbo or boost, depending on which hill it is. So I'm going to take you up one of the steeper hills in the neighborhood, and it gets up to 15% grade. So we'll get to this stop. I'm going to start it in sport. Get to the stop, use the throttle, get us going a little bit. And that throttle does help. When you let go, you can feel the power come off, but I'm already putting it into boost because I know what it's like to go up this hill. And even in boost, it's a decent amount of work with the gearing. We're still hitting 9 miles an hour, so it's a good pace. You can see the motor's power output on this display saying 525 watts, so it is doing some work to get us up this steep hill. So it did it, and it's steep. Now I'm gonna use the throttle to help me get going. Don't roll backwards there. But yeah, it's, you know, I'm out of breath a bit, but if you gotta make it up a big hill, you can make it up a big hill and boost. Then when you get to the top, get back into tour, and you can just cruise. Catch your breath. You can just use the throttle. I'll just use the throttle, catch my breath, but the throttle is a nice addition, and the ability to take off the throttle to make this a Class 1 bike for those areas that require a Class 1 bike to ride around is pretty awesome. Now that we're on these rolling hills, bike's doing its thing. Fun little bike. I do enjoy the Slice Lite. Thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoyed this review of the Vvolt Slice Lite. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do that for us and give this video a like as well. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.